What is going on, you guys? Jonathan here. Welcome back to Garage Denali, and in this video I'm going to show you the aftermath of the M Performance brake upgrade for the BMW F3X. In my case, my F32. So contrary to how I normally make these videos, I usually show you the installation on how this works, but this is going to be the post installation video here that shows you pretty much what it looks like as it's installed. Now, I'm going to even just show you guys how to install this, or I'm going to tell you how you install it. Honestly, it's pretty straightforward. If you've done brake jobs before, even change calipers before, you'll notice that this is actually really not that difficult. So what you see here on the ground are my old brakes. So you can see my car, because it's an M Sport, it has the 340 millimeter front rotors and the 330 millimeter rear rotors. And the M Performance brakes that you can get from BMW are basically the same as the cars that have the track handling package or the upgraded blue brakes. So you get 370 millimeter front rotors and 345 millimeter rear rotors. In addition to that, the rotors themselves are dimpled and slotted, and in the rear, instead of going from one piston, you have two pistons in each corner. So really, the only difference is you get to pick between either red, orange, or yellow calipers. My car being Snapper Rocks Blue Metallic, I elected to go with the yellow ones. These are Austin Yellow. I think they look the best for this car. And yeah, you pretty much get the rotors as well. So it's pretty straightforward, and you can even see I upgraded to the stainless steel brake lines from Bimmer World, so that's a nice upgrade as well. But basically, you know, if I had to summarize how you do this installation, you pretty much, I started in the rear because I thought it would be the easiest. I don't know if that necessarily matters, but essentially, I'll show you here on the old hardware. You basically need to get a screwdriver and remove this retaining clip from the brake caliper. Once you do that, basically you have these two 16 millimeter bolts right up here. But before you actually do that, here where you see these covers, you basically pop these off, and you have two 8 millimeter bolts. Those are guide pins in there actually. You can even see them a little bit in there as well. So you need to get the 8 millimeter guide pins out, so you can pretty much remove the caliper at that point. Then you grab your 16 millimeter socket and you can remove these two. These are held on really tight, just so you guys know. And then after that, you can pretty much remove your brake rotor. And then what I did was I went ahead and I installed the brake rotor along with its screw. The kit actually does give you all the hardware you need for the M Performance brake kit. So you get the 4 calipers, you get the front rotors, you get all 4 corners worth of brake pads, and you get the dust shields for all 4 corners. The reason they don't give you the rear rotors is because if you have a 328, for example, you're gonna have a smaller rotor. So basically they do that so you can manually pick which rotor you need for your car. So basically, once I got the rotor on, because I have M Sport brakes, which means I had the 330 millimeter rear rotor, I did not have to change the rear dust shield. If, for example, this was a 328 and possibly a 428, I'm not 100% sure, although I think the 428 already has M Sport brakes regardless. But if you have basically the 1 piston, or I think it's the 2 piston front calipers and the 1 piston rear calipers, if you have the 300 millimeter front rotors, and I guess that's a 280 millimeter rear rotor, I forget exactly, but if you have like the absolute most basic rotors, you'll have to change your dust shield because your dust shield won't be big enough. And the way to do it is to remove the wheel hub, but that's honestly pretty crazy. So I think even the BMW technical documentation states to make some slits, some cuts in the dust shield so you can slide the old one out, and then you'll slide the new one in and secure it. But you gotta release the parking brake from here, adjust the parking shoe, and do all that. So if you have those base brakes, keep that in mind. In my case, because I already had the 330 millimeter rear rotor, I didn't have to do that, and you can see the rotor fits perfectly fine. Once I did that, you can see that the next thing was to pretty much swap out the old caliper with its old brake line with the new one. So in order to do that, you basically need to put a stick on the brake pedal and then bring the seat forward to basically maintain pressure in the system And basically that allows you to disconnect the line here without having to lose fluid and get air in the system. So you remove this. This up here is I believe this was an 11 millimeter, because basically you're unscrewing this top nut right here. This is a captive nut and it stays on the brake line here. So that's 14 millimeter. You remove that and then the hose just pops downwards and then you can pretty much swap the caliper. So I installed the new hose on the brake line, which the brake line itself, that was 14 millimeter, and that gets torqued to 24 Newton meters. And then the brake line here, this gets torqued to 17 Newton meters, the 11 millimeter right there. Make sure you use a flare wrench that's meant for brakes, because you do not want to screw this up, because if you do, you're in for a really bad time. So pretty much besides that, you can see I don't know if you can see actually, but it's really dark. But basically the new caliper goes on with two 16 millimeter bolts. So that bracket that you removed from the old setup, this bracket here, you are not using this anymore. So essentially you slide in the new caliper, you secure the bolts. These are held on with 50 Newton meters plus 60 degrees as far as torque goes. After that, you want to go ahead and insert your pads, and you want to lubricate those on the backs and on the sides, and you slide these in. And then you'll notice you have a spring here. So basically you have two guide pins that you can see, one right there and one right there. These go through from the back, and you can see they bottom out right here. And you just hammer those until you see that the indentation in the rod, in the actual pin, is pretty much centered with the spring itself. So that way it won't back out, can't back out. So once you're done that, pretty much you're done the rear, or at least you're done one corner of the rear. So basically at that point, what I did was I went ahead back inside the car. I removed the stick from the brake pedal to open up the other calipers so I can pretty much go to the other side and do this, because if you have your brake on, you're not going to get the caliper off because it's clamping the rotor. So that's pretty much how you do the rear. The opposite side is the same side. On the passenger side, you will have the brake pad wear sensor, so keep that in mind. On the driver's side here in the rear, you do not have that, but that's pretty much it. This little screw here for the brake rotor, that's held on with 16 Newton meters. I think I pretty much hit on everything as far as torque specs for back here. So yeah, I pretty much did passenger side rear, driver's side rear, and then afterwards I did the passenger side front, and then I did the driver's side front. And I basically did that in order from furthest to closest as far as from the ABS module or the actual brake master cylinder. I don't think it absolutely matters unless you're doing bleeding, but I just did it anyway, did it like that. The front is a similar story where you're basically removing two, E16 E-Torx bolts on the caliper. So this is very similar. The installation of these M Performance brakes is very similar to these calipers if you have the 340 millimeter, because these are still Brembo calipers, as you can see. So these are E16. Remove these, get the caliper off. The driver's side front has the brake pad wear sensor, so remove that. And then once you remove the caliper, you're going to remove the rotor, and then you're going to remove the dust shield, because this one is a lot easier to remove. You just got the 4 bolts there, because on the rear axle, the dust shield is basically continuous. I'll throw a picture up on the screen right now, so you can see where you have to make 2 slits in order to basically slide the dust shield on or off. So once you put your dust shield on, go ahead and install your front rotor. Again, use your retaining bolt there to keep the rotor on the hub. That's torqued to 60 Newton meters. What I also did when doing this process was I put a little bit of BB Blaster up on that nut right there for the brake line, as well as on the retaining bolts here, because you do not want these to strip. That would be very annoying if this strips, and that would be pretty bad if that one up there strips. So in the front, the brake caliper is held onto the hub with 110 Newton meters of torque, and the 4 bolts for the dust shield are only held on with 10 Newton meters, so nothing too heavy. Pretty much you can see I got the dust shield on right there. I did the rotor, and then after the rotor, I removed the caliper. So again, I put a stick between the brake pedal and the seat, brought the seat forward to make sure that fluid doesn't drain out. I replaced the brake line, or actually I attached the brake line to the brake caliper, and then I installed the brake assembly to the car, as you can see here. So this is stainless steel from Bimmer World. This has a clip right there in the center that you just pull the clip up to release the old hose, and then this one comes with a new one that you use to slide down. And then make sure you route your ABS or your brake pad wear sensor accordingly to where it needs to go, and in its box right here, in each of the two corners it belongs. And then after that, pretty much the passenger side is the same side, or the opposite side is the same side, whatever you didn't do. So after you do that, pretty much the next step is to bleed the brakes. So I hooked up a power bleeder to the master cylinder, to the reservoir, and I brought it up to 20 PSI. I added fluid in it, and then I started in the opposite corner rear. So passenger side rear, then driver side rear, and then driver side front, and then, or passenger side front, and then driver side front. One thing to note is the calipers here in the front have two bleed nipples. So you'll see one right there, it's a little dark, and then the other one's right here. So when you do the front calipers, start with the furthest bleed nipple and work your way towards the middle. Then afterwards, at that point, yeah, I think I used 1 liter of fluid to go through the whole system. So honestly, there were air bubbles in the system, but it wasn't enough where I had to flush tons of fluid through it. So 1 liter should suffice, especially if you recently did a brake fluid. You can honestly probably reuse the fluid if it's less than 2 years old or 1 year old, but if not, maybe it's not a bad idea to just flush new fluid through the system anyway, since you should flush the brake fluid every 2 years because it's hydroscopic. So pretty much at that point, once that was bled, pretty much removed the power bleeder, which I have it over there on the shelf, but this is the fluid that I used as far as my brake fluid. It's Pentosin .4 low viscosity. So that's the fluid that is currently running through the car. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. But that's pretty much how you do this. So I wanted to do these brakes because I think that they look nice. And as you can see, my old ones were pretty disgusting, honestly. And I have my wheels out here because I was giving these a good clean before I mount them back up to the car. So these are the base brakes, or the brakes that come with M Sport cars. This car unfortunately does not have the track handling package, so I didn't have the blue brakes, but the blue brakes are essentially the same, minus the fact that M Performance just means, again, you have dimpled and slotted rotors with aluminum hats, so they're lighter. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Once you bleed the brakes, you're gonna wanna go ahead and bed the brakes, so do probably like 10 gentle braking attempts, somewhere where you have enough room and you're not gonna hit anything. Then after that, you're gonna wanna do a series of medium brakes. So basically hit the brake, medium pressure, probably 5 or 6 times, I wanna say is what the technical documentation states. And you really wanna bed those in because you did the brakes on all 4 corners, and you're not gonna have any stopping power, any good stopping power. So it's pretty important that you do that. Once you do that, you want to basically drive the car carefully for 200 kilometers or about 160 miles or so, but probably like 200 miles, 250 miles. No heavy braking, no hard braking. Just be gentle on the brakes. So keep that in mind because you have to let the brakes fully bed and fully, break themselves in. I know, pun intended, but that's pretty much how you do this. So I just kind of recorded this video in one take, raw, kind of unedited. I thought about doing a video on this, but honestly I didn't, because I just wanted to install these brakes and I don't really have a lot of time these days, unfortunately. But that's pretty much how you install this. So another thing that I want to mention when doing this retrofit, and it's pretty important, is that you're going to have to code the car with ESIS and tell it that you have the M Performance brakes. So if you don't know how to use ESIS, go on Facebook, go online on the forums, find somebody who basically can remote into your computer and go through ESIS, and basically that person needs to add SPBR to your vehicle order, which basically is a code to tell the car's ECU, the FEM, hey, you now have the sport brakes. And ultimately what that's doing is it's updating the brake bias, since you now have 370 millimeter rotors in the front, and in the rear you have 345. So if you don't do that, basically the car doesn't know that it has this change in brakes. And it's important because one thing people have said was with these brakes, with the car being coded correctly, is that it doesn't lunge forward upon heavy braking like how it used to do before. The car feels a lot more planted. And honestly, if we're also talking about brake bias, that's pretty important to have it done right to make sure your brakes work as intended. So when you're doing this retrofit, especially if you don't already have the blue brakes, which to be honest, I don't know why you would do this if you have the blue brakes, but if you have the blue brakes, you already have the car coded correctly. It's option code S2NHA, I believe, and you don't have to worry about it. But if you are upgrading from the brakes, from the gray brakes, then you have to have the car coded correctly. So it takes 10 minutes. Just find somebody on Facebook, one of the groups who have done this before. I can recommend a few people if you guys need somebody. But just something that you have to keep in mind when doing this retrofit. So that's pretty much it. I believe that that's pretty much everything to discuss in this video. I think I pretty much hit on everything. So let me know if you guys have any questions on this retrofit. This is a project that I wanted to do for a while. I looked into, buying some refurbished calipers or buying some used calipers and refurbishing them. But the cost of this is honestly so close to just buying this kit online, and it's a BMW kit. And it comes in 3 different colors, red, orange, and yellow. And it comes with pretty much all the hardware you need: dust shields, bolts, pads, rotors, except the rear, and the calipers. It's a pretty, inclusive kit. And honestly, it's actually more price efficient to buy it that way. So that's pretty much the incentive to do that. So I'm really excited to get my wheels back on as soon as they finish drying. Then I'm gonna bed the brakes. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about this mod, this video, or any of this, feel free to leave a comment below. I know that it's been a little bit, and as you can see, I'm no longer in PA, state of Pennsylvania. I moved to California, hence the plate. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Take care.